Hey everyone, and welcome back to Thinkiverse Podcast. I'm Ryan Lamas, and I am so excited for today's deep dive. We are going to be jumping into a fascinating health topic.
Yes, we are. I'm Rana Sklotro, and I am here to help us break down some really complex science into easy-to-understand pieces.
Like we're explaining it to a fifth grader.
Exactly.
Simple, clear, and fun.
That's right.
Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the amazing world of how the food that we eat can help our bodies fight off disease. And for this, we're going to be drawing on insights from Dr. William Lai. He is a medical doctor and a scientist who studies how food can be like medicine.
Exactly.
We're going to be unpacking his interview with Lewis Howes on the School of Greatness YouTube channel. So get ready to discover how your body is literally designed to be healthy and how it has 5 powerful defense systems that you can boost with the right foods.
Yes, and one of the things that Dr. Lai talks about is how our bodies are really like a medieval fortress with all sorts of defenses to protect us from invaders.
Oh yeah, he compares our bodies to a castle
Exactly.
with walls and moats and even those little holes they pour hot oil from.
Right, those murder holes.
Yeah.
That's incredible imagery.
I know, talk about taking defense seriously, right?
Yeah, but it just goes to show how intricate and clever our bodies are when it comes to protecting us.
Yeah.
So let's break down these 5 incredible defense systems, starting with angiogenesis. Now, I know that word sounds a little intimidating, but it's actually pretty simple.
It is. It's all about how our bodies grow new blood vessels.
That's right.
And you can think of blood vessels like the roads and highways that transport essential supplies throughout your body. They're carrying oxygen and nutrients to every single cell.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really interesting. Cancer cells can't grow without a blood supply. So if we can control angiogenesis, we can actually starve those harmful cancer cells.
Yeah, that's where anti-angiogenic therapy comes in.
Exactly.
It's a treatment that cuts off the blood supply to tumors, basically stopping them in their tracks.
Exactly. And you know what's even cooler? Certain foods can naturally help our bodies fight back against unhealthy angiogenesis.
Really?
Yeah, we'll get into those a bit later. But for now, let's move on to our next defense system, stem cells.
Okay, stem cells.
Okay.
These are like the body's own little repair crews.
Yes.
I mean, they have this amazing ability to transform into different types of cells.
Yeah,
And they help regenerate our tissues and organs.
exactly. And you know how some animals like lizards or starfish can regrow entire limbs if they lose one?
Yeah.
Well, we humans don't have that superpower exactly, but we do regenerate in other ways.
That's right. Our organs are constantly renewing themselves. For example, our livers, our lungs, and even the lining of our mouths are always regenerating thanks to stem cells.
Exactly.
So where are these amazing stem cells hanging out?
Well, most of them are stored in our bone marrow, kind of like a reserve army waiting to be deployed.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Yeah, and when our body needs to repair some damage, those stem cells get the call and travel to where they're needed. Dr. Lee uses this really cool analogy of bees flying out of a hive
Oh, I like that.
to go to where they're needed.
So what's the thing that makes them fly out of the hive?
And guess what? There's a delicious way to help coax those stem cells out of their hive.
What is it?
Dark chocolate.
I knew there had to be a good reason to enjoy a piece of dark chocolate every now and then.
Right?
So dark chocolate contains compounds that can actually increase the number of stem cells circulating in our blood.
It does.
Wow.
Isn't that incredible?
Well, that is pretty incredible.
All right, so let's move on to defense system number 3. And this one's all about our gut. Get ready for this. It's called the gut microbiome.
The gut microbiome.
Okay, so the gut microbiome is like a giant bustling city living inside our digestive system.
Okay.
And it's made up of trillions of bacteria, more than all the stars in the night sky.
Trillions.
Trillions.
That's mind-blowing.
I know.
So what are all those bacteria doing down there?
Well, they're not just hanging out. They're actually super busy working to keep us healthy. Our gut bacteria help us digest food, break down toxins, and even communicate with our brains.
Wait, gut bacteria talking to our brains? How is that even possible?
Oh, no, it's wild, right? So imagine it like this. The bacteria in our gut are sending messages to our brains through this long nerve called the vagus nerve. It's like a superhighway connecting our gut and our brain.
So basically, if we don't take care of our gut bacteria, our brains might not be too happy.
Exactly. There's a strong connection between gut health and mental health. And researchers are even finding links between gut bacteria and conditions like autism, Alzheimer's, and schizophrenia.
Wow, so before we delve deeper into the world of gut health, we want to take a quick moment to introduce our own YouTube channel, Thinkiverse Podcast.
Yes, we are all about unlocking knowledge across the spectrum every day.
So if you are enjoying this deep dive, And you want to hear more, be sure to like and subscribe for more insightful episodes.
Yes, we've got tons of fascinating topics coming up, so hit that subscribe button and stay in the loop.
All right, back to those awesome health defenses. Up next is our DNA. And I have to admit, I always thought DNA was just our genetic code, like the blueprint for our bodies. I'm not sure how that protects us.
That's a great question. It's true that DNA contains all of our genetic information, but it's also much more than that. It plays a crucial role in protecting us from damage caused by the environment.
Okay, so think about it. We are constantly bombarded with things like UV rays from the sun, pollution in the air, and even chemicals in the products we use every day.
Right, and our DNA actually has built-in repair mechanisms that can fix the damage caused by these environmental factors.
So it can repair itself.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
Mm.
But I've also heard about these things called telomeres that are connected to aging. Do they have anything to do with DNA's defense system?
Yes, absolutely. Telomeres are like the protective caps on the ends of our chromosomes. You can think of it like this. Imagine your DNA is like a shoelace, and the telomere is that little plastic tip that keeps it from fraying.
Okay, I can picture that.
Yeah.
So as we get older, what happens to those telomeres?
Well, over time, telomeres naturally shorten. It's a bit like a fuse slowly burning down. And when they get too short, our cells can't divide properly anymore, which contributes to aging.
So longer telomeres mean a longer life.
It's not quite that straightforward, but telomere length is definitely linked to aging and overall health. And here's the exciting part. Certain foods can help slow down telomere shortening and even help lengthen them.
Really? So food can actually slow down aging?
It can.
Okay, now I'm really paying attention. All right, let's talk about that last defense system, the one we all know and love. The immune system.
All right. Our immune system is like a powerful army that protects us from invaders, like bacteria and viruses. It's constantly working to keep us healthy.
I like that analogy, the army.
Yeah.
Good one. And get this. Dr. Lee says that our immune system is even strong enough to fight cancer.
Yes. He compares it to an army with all sorts of specialized units, like Navy SEALs and Marines, all working together to defend the body.
That's such a cool analogy.
Yeah.
It really makes you appreciate how complex and powerful our immune systems are. But sometimes it feels like our immune systems aren't working as well as they should. Like when we get sick often or feel run down.
That's right. That can happen for a lot of reasons, including stress, lack of sleep, and you guessed it, a poor diet.
Yeah.
In fact, Dr. Lee points out that a third of all cancers are thought to be linked to diet and lifestyle choices.
Wow, a third.
I know.
That's a huge number.
It is, but the good news is it's never too late to start boosting your immunity.
Yeah.
And just like with the other defense systems, food plays a key role in keeping our immune system strong and ready to fight.
Okay.
So now that we've covered those 5 amazing defense systems, let's talk about how we can give them the right fuel to do their jobs even better.
Exactly. Yeah. We've explored those 5 fantastic defense systems. Angiogenesis, stem cells, the gut microbiome, DNA protection, and the immune system. Now let's talk about the foods that can really make a difference.
Yes, and Dr. Lee really emphasizes that it's all about adding the good stuff to your diet, rather than just focusing on what to take away. It's a much more positive and empowering approach, right?
Totally. It's like giving your body a high five with every healthy bite. So where do we start?
Well, let's begin with angiogenesis. Remember, we want to support healthy blood vessel growth for things like delivering nutrients and healing. But we want to be careful not to feed those harmful cancer cells.
Right. We don't want to give those bad guys any extra help. So what can we eat to keep those blood vessels in tip-top shape?
Well, something as simple as an apple a day can actually make a difference. Apples contain a compound called quercetin, which has been shown to have anti-angiogenic properties.
Wow, so that old saying really holds true. And it's not just apples. Green tea is another fantastic choice. It's packed with polyphenols, particularly EGCG, which is also linked to anti-angiogenic effects.
Yes, and both quercetin and EGCG work by helping to keep angiogenesis in check, making sure it's happening where it's needed, but not going overboard.
That's fascinating. So we're talking about apples and green tea for healthy blood vessels. What about those amazing stem cells? What can we eat to support their regeneration superpowers?
Right. Remember how we talked about dark chocolate being able to coax those stem cells out of their hiding place in the bone marrow?
Oh yeah, that's the part I've been waiting for. I'm always up for a little dark chocolate.
Well, Dr. Lean mentions that dark chocolate can actually double the number of stem cells circulating in our blood.
Double.
Isn't that incredible?
Now that's a reason to celebrate. What exactly in dark chocolate is doing this?
Well, it's a group of compounds called procyanidins, which are a type of polyphenol. They're found in the cacao bean, which is what chocolate is made from. So the darker the chocolate, the better. You want to look for at least 70% cacao or higher to get the most benefit.
Got it. High-quality dark chocolate for stem cell support. I can definitely get behind that. Now, what about our gut microbiome, that incredible ecosystem of trillions of bacteria? How do we keep those little guys happy and thriving?
Well, it's all about diversity. Imagine your gut like a beautiful garden. You want to plant all sorts of different flowers and plants to create a thriving ecosystem. The same goes for your gut. You want to feed it a wide variety of foods, especially fruits and vegetables, to support all the different types of beneficial bacteria.
Sounds like eating a rainbow of colors when it comes to fruits and veggies, right?
Exactly. Different types of fiber, vitamins, and minerals help different types of good bacteria grow and flourish in our gut.
Hmm.
And this diversity is key to maintaining a healthy gut microbiome, which, as we learn, affects everything from our digestion
No.
to our immune system
Yeah.
and even our mental health.
Yeah, it's amazing to think about how something as simple as eating a variety of colorful foods can have such a huge impact on our overall well-being. Okay, let's move on to DNA protection. We talked about how our DNA is constantly being bombarded by things that can damage it, but it also has these amazing repair mechanisms.
That's right. And we can help support those repair mechanisms with certain foods. You're going to
Yeah.
love this. Green tea strikes again. Those powerful polyphenols we talked about earlier, like EGCG, can also help protect our DNA from damage and support its ability to repair itself.
Green tea is like a superhero for our health. What else can we do to keep our DNA safe and sound?
Leafy greens are another excellent choice. They're packed with antioxidants and other nutrients that help shield our cells from damage. Think spinach, kale, collard greens, all those good things.
I'm seeing a pattern here. A healthy diet is like having a personal bodyguard for our DNA.
I like that.
Okay.
All right, and last but not least, let's talk about our immune system. Remember that powerful army we talked about earlier? Let's give those immune cells the fuel they need to keep us healthy and strong.
I'm ready to load up my immune army with all the good stuff. What are some of their favorite foods?
Well, blueberries are an excellent choice. They're bursting with antioxidants, particularly anthocyanins, which have been shown to enhance immune function. They're like little blue powerhouses of immune support.
I always knew blueberries were good for me,
Yeah.
but it's amazing to think about them actually boosting my immune system.
And here's another surprising immune boosting food: broccoli sprouts.
Broccoli sprouts, those tiny little baby broccoli plants.
Exactly. And get this, they contain up to 100 times more sulfur-F, a powerful compound that supports detoxification and immune function, compared to mature broccoli.
Wow, 100 times more.
I know.
I'm definitely adding those to my shopping list.
They pack a serious punch when it comes to immune support. Dr. Lee even mentioned a study where people who had a broccoli sprout shake along with their flu shot had a much stronger immune response compared to those who didn't have the sprouts.
So broccoli sprouts and blueberries for a supercharged immune system. This is great information. Now, speaking of the immune system, let's touch on a topic that often comes up: inflammation.
Right. Inflammation has become a bit of a buzzword these days, but it's important to understand that inflammation is a natural process. It's actually a crucial part of our body's healing response.
So it's not always a bad thing.
Exactly. When we get injured or our bodies are fighting off something harmful, inflammation kicks in to help protect and repair us. It's like our body's way of sending in the troops.
So inflammation is like our body's first responders. That makes sense. But I've heard that chronic inflammation can be a problem.
That's right. Dr. Lean compares it to the volume knob in a car. We need the volume to hear the music, but we don't want it blasting all the time. It's the same with inflammation. We need it in the short term to heal, but we don't want it constantly firing up. That's when it can start to cause problems.
So how do we keep inflammation in check and make sure it's not causing trouble in the long run?
Well, a lot of it comes down to lifestyle choices. Things like getting enough sleep, managing stress, and incorporating mindfulness practices like meditation and deep breathing can all help reduce chronic inflammation.
That makes sense. It's about calming down the body and mind overall. But what about food? Can we eat certain things to help reduce inflammation?
Absolutely. There are many foods that can help dampen down inflammation. Cranberries, for example, are packed with antioxidants that have anti-inflammatory properties.
Cranberries, like the ones we eat at Thanksgiving.
Yes. And chocolate, especially dark chocolate, contains compounds that have also been shown to reduce inflammation.
Wait, chocolate can fight inflammation. This just keeps getting better and better.
I know, right? And let's not forget about vitamin C. Foods rich in vitamin C, like strawberries, guava, and red bell peppers, are also great for reducing inflammation.
So it sounds like a holistic approach is key. Taking care of our mental and emotional well-being, making healthy lifestyle choices, and choosing foods that support a balanced inflammatory response.
Exactly. And speaking of making healthy choices, let's talk about another important aspect of our health: metabolism.
Ah, metabolism. It's often blamed for weight gain or difficulty losing weight. But Dr. Lee has some surprising insights about metabolism. That might change the way we think about it.
He does. He completely debunks the myth that our metabolism drastically slows down as we age. He explains that all humans go through four distinct phases of metabolism throughout our lives, and it's not until after age 60 that it starts to decline gradually.
Wait, so it's not my metabolism slowing down in my 30s that's making it harder to maintain a healthy weight?
Nope. Dr. Lee's research shows that our metabolism is actually quite stable between the ages of 20 and 60. The real culprit for a slowed metabolism is excess body fat.
So it's not that our metabolism slows down with age, but that carrying extra weight can make it seem like it does.
Precisely. And here's the really exciting part. He's currently researching specific foods that can help trigger fat burning and boost our metabolism, which he plans to share in his upcoming book.
Another cliffhanger. Can't wait to read that. But it's empowering to know that we have more control over our metabolism than we might think, and that food can play a role in boosting it.
Absolutely. And you know what else is empowering? The fact that there are even more incredible discoveries on the horizon when it comes to food and health. Dr. Lead is always on the cutting edge of research, and he's exploring some really fascinating areas right now.
Like what? Give us a sneak peek.
Well, one area he's really excited about is the potential of food to unlock our body's natural regenerative powers. He's finding that certain foods can actually help our bodies heal and repair themselves in amazing ways.
Regeneration, like Wolverine from X-Men.
Well, maybe not to that extent. But Dr. Lee mentioned some intriguing examples like barley, which has been shown to improve wound healing, and olive oil, which has anti-inflammatory properties that can help protect our cells from damage.
That's incredible. So we're talking about food that can literally help our bodies regenerate and heal.
It's pretty mind-blowing. And he's even exploring the connection between food and space travel.
Space travel. What does food have to do with space?
Well, as you can imagine, astronauts face some unique health challenges in space, like bone loss and muscle atrophy due to the lack of gravity. Dr. Lai is studying how food can help combat these challenges and keep astronauts healthy during long space missions.
That's fascinating. And I bet the findings from that research could have huge implications for health here on Earth, too.
Exactly. The things we learn about how to keep our bodies healthy in extreme environments like space can teach us so much about how to optimize our health here on Earth. It's all connected.
Wow, this has been an incredible deep dive into the world of food as medicine. I feel like I've learned so much about how our bodies work and how we can support them with the choices we make every day.
It's amazing to realize that we have so much power to influence our own health and well-being, isn't it?
Absolutely. And before we wrap up, we wanted to remind you all to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Thinkiverse Podcast.
Yes, we are all about unlocking knowledge across the spectrum every day. We have tons of exciting episodes planned covering a wide range of topics. Hit that subscribe button and join us for more deep dives into the world around us.
We'd love to have you along for the ride.
Yeah.
It really is incredible to think about, all the things that we've been talking about today. It's mind-blowing to think that we're just scratching the surface of what we can learn about the power of food to heal and transform our bodies.
Yeah, it really is. And that's what's so exciting about Dr. Lee's work. He's constantly pushing the boundaries of our understanding and opening up these new possibilities for how we can use food as medicine.
So out of all the incredible insights that we've uncovered today, what stands out to you as the biggest takeaway? What's the one thing you really hope our listeners will remember?
I think for me, it's the reminder that our bodies are so incredibly resilient. And, we have all of these amazing built-in defenses to protect us. We have more power than we realize to influence our health through the choices that we make every day.
I couldn't agree more. It's so empowering to know that we're not just victims of our genes or our circumstances. We can actively support our health by choosing foods that nourish and fuel our body's natural defenses.
Exactly. And it's not about being perfect or following some restrictive diet. It's about adding in, those beneficial foods we discussed, making gradual, sustainable changes that we can stick with for the long haul.
Yeah, it's about enjoying food and using it as a tool to help us thrive. So what's one practical step you'd recommend our listeners take after listening to this deep dive? What can they do today to start putting this knowledge into action?
I would say start incorporating at least one of those beneficial foods we talked about into their diet today. It doesn't have to be a huge overhaul. Just start small. Maybe add some blueberries to your breakfast. Or swap out that sugary afternoon snack for a piece of dark chocolate.
Great advice. You know small changes can make a big difference over time. And if you're feeling inspired to learn even more about the amazing power of food as medicine, I highly recommend checking out Dr. Lee's book, Eat to Beat Disease, The New Science of How Your Body Can Heal Itself.
It's a fantastic